Welcome, my friends of the interwebs. You know, I literally just posted a new video to the Mad Bad Voodoo channel, probably the first one in a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. And almost immediately, somebody left a comment, which kind of warmed my heart just a little bit. The comment was basically that you wanted an update on Kentucky and the pinhead situation, the oil and gas situation. And you know what? Let's do that. That video just went up about 10 minutes ago. So I'll probably post this tomorrow. I might even post it tonight. I don't know. I'm in kind of a Mad Bad Voodoo kind of mood. So let's start. Oh, by the way, I did not shave today. It is Easter. Got a ham in the oven. Yeah, a little pale. It's been, you know, long, cold winter. But anyway, it is what it is. Not making excuses for my sexiness or lack thereof. Okay, Kentucky. We're going down there next week. Got some business to take care of. Let's just, Pinhead deserves his own video because there's a lot to say. There's a lot to kind of bring you up to date on with Pinhead. I need to get some intel while I'm down there next week. I think so. Wait for that for about a week and a half. You'll see the Pinhead video. But he deserves to have his whole own updates. But let's do the Target Oil and Gas, because the Target Oil and Gas thing is really interesting in the sense that there's a lot that happened. I'm not even sure where I left off with you guys. So I'll just say they were all convicted, and Mike Smith, who was the president of Target Oil and Gas, apparently still is, he got 10 years. And his brother Chris, I think, got 5 years, and his son got, God, 3 years, something like that. He slapped his wrist. To be honest with you, I think Chris got his wrist slapped too. But anyway, Mike got 10 years. He could have done 20 or 30 as far as I was concerned. But anyway, he got 10. And I don't want to jump ahead. I'm smiling a little bit because you'll find out in a second. But I had a lot to say about Target Oil and Gas, and I had a lot to say about Mike Smith, their president, and that whole criminal organization, the Hillbilly Mafia. They, Jesus Christ, sued me for slander for all the choice things that I had to say. So I literally had to go to court over a slander suit, and I stomped them like a grape because, you know, by that point, they were already convicted. They were literally suing me from behind bars for slandering their good name. You know, the convicted felons. You know, listen, I'm going to tell you something. Over the last several years, I've been on YouTube since the beginning of time. Over the last several years, I have had a lot to say about a lot of people. And from time to time, there are people who say, holy shit, are you worried about getting sued? And the answer to that question is no, I'm not. Because I've never lied about anybody. See, the defense against slander is you're telling the truth. If you're telling the truth, then you don't have any problems. I've always been the type of person who is happy to say names, tell it the way it is, the good, the bad, the ugly. You know, it's just who I am. It's always been who I am. And I take zero shit, and I give zero fucks. So when I found out that Mike Smith was suing me for slander, I knew it was going to cost me some money. And that was listen, it was his way of striking out at me because I was really a pivotal factor in his conviction. In fact, I need to find the damn, I don't know, was that videotaped? I'm not sure if there was video cameras in the courtroom or not. I know there was under the Angela Lambert thing. In fact, I'd like to get that too. I will, I'll work on that. But I'm not sure if the federal trial had cameras or not. But if it did, I'd like to actually get there, or at least get the transcripts. But anyway, you know, as I say, I got all kind of giddy about thinking about watching myself testify. Oh, my testimony against Mike Smith, Target Oil and Gas, that whole operation, was a big reason that they got convicted. And I was very proud of that. So Mike, though, had so much money stashed away, and still does, that the only thing that he could really do was sue me. I mean, he wasn't going to win. He knew he was never going to win. But in his little freaking criminal mind, and it was just a way really to seek some revenge. He was going to use the courts to seek some revenge by costing me money. Because that's the one thing when you do get sued, whether you win or you don't win, you're going to spend some money. And it's like the Angela Lambert thing. It cost me $9,000 to get that little sliver, I mean, you know, what, half acre or whatever it was she had stolen from me. It cost me about $9,000 to get that back. And then I was awarded cost of action, which was $700, $800 of the $9,000 that I spent. And, you know, I mean, it's what it is. But see, Mike Smith had a lot of money and nowhere to spend it because he was in prison. And so I think that he just literally said to himself, well, I'm going to sue Richard Hunter because Richard Hunter is the reason I'm in this goddamn jail cell. Okay, whatever. Slander lawsuits have never bothered me. They've never... because like I said, I don't ever lie about anything. If you tell the truth, you don't have to worry about it coming back and biting you ass. The worst case scenario is it's going to cost you a little bit of money. You just have to be willing to spend that. And when it came to Mike Smith and Target Oil and Gas, I was willing to spend it. I didn't care. I thought it was funny. I thought, though, to be honest with you, I was a little disappointed in our justice system because there were a lot of victims that were duped out of their money through this scheme of his. Millions of dollars were you know, gained on, illegally gained. And, you know, there's a whole process that's involved, but you want to recover as much of that ill-gotten gains as possible to be able to pay back restitution to the victims. Which I consider myself a victim, but I will never see a dime from any of that. But I mean, you know, ultimately, you know, he was using money that belonged to the victims to seek revenge against me. And I always thought that was absolute horseshit. And that the court should have had some kind of mechanism to remedy that. I mean, how was his lawyer getting paid? You know, I mean, it just, there's a whole lot about our justice system that is kind of whacked. And that's one of them. You've got a guy who defrauded millions of dollars out of people, and yet now, and he's supposed to be broke. By the way, of course, you know, the federal government goes in there and they start seizing assets and stuff like that. But supposedly he was broke. How does a broke man pay his lawyer to sue a guy for slander? How's that happen? And by the way, just because I know there are going to be some legal eagles out there saying that he couldn't sue me for what I said in the courtroom, you're right, he could not. He sued me for all the things that I said on the internet, on the interwebs. I literally used this bully pulpit to beat him about the head and neck. You know, and some of you guys know. I mean, I told it the way it was. I mean, you know, literally. So, anyway, he has. I believe he's exhausted his appeals. You know, I remember. You know, they're masters at getting on the internet and spewing nonsense. And part of that is just, I mean, it's amazing to me considering who they are. But I remember running into an article on I think it was a Forbes contributor. This guy's a hack that's for sale. I can't think of his name offhand, or I would say it. I haven't said on his thing, how much did the Smith family pay you? But he writes about white collar crime. And basically he's a defender of criminals is what he is. And I'm sure that there's money being funneled into his direction somehow. But I remember he actually wrote an article saying that he thought that the Smiths were railroaded or something to that effect. He didn't mention my name because had he mentioned my name, I would have broken off up in his ass. I'll tell you that right now. But he basically made some fucking bullshit, lame excuses of why they shouldn't actually been convicted, completely ignoring all the victims and what they had to say about her or what all was done. So. But the Smiths, I knew they paid for it because they were all there in the comment section cheering it on and everything. And that's, you know, and Mike Smith at that time hadn't been, you know, he hadn't lost his appeal. So, you know, they were all going to be let free on appeal because justice would be served now that, you know, the media is starting to shed light on how wrongfully they were, you know, they were done with. Fucking whatever. I, of course, you know me, got into the comment section and basically said, look, you know, well, first I said to the dude who wrote the article, how much did they pay you for this? Because I'm sure that they did. And then I basically said, look, read the transcripts to the trial. Read read the transcript from the trial. These people are not victims. The Smith family are the criminals. They have victimized people. And they got away with it for a long time. They made millions and millions of dollars. And I'm going to have to get my hands on the transcripts. I'm not sure how much that's going to cost me, but probably be some pretty good nighttime reading. I might read it for you guys. So, but anyway, that's Target Oil and Gas update. They're out of my life. I no longer have a lease with them. I still have 3 oil and gas wells on my property that need some attention. It's unfortunately, to do the things that need to be done, it's a lot of money, and I don't have that kind of money. There's a whole lot going on with the coal and stuff right now. Of course, Barack Obama. I'll get into all of that. But let's just make this video about Target Oil and Gas. They are all spending their time. Now, some of them have actually done their time. I think a couple of the salesmen, Ray Gordon, who is the, I believe that's his name, who is the geologist who came up with bullshit geology reports on different well sites. He did his time. He went state's evidence, and he did his time at home. And I don't remember how long he got, but I want to say he had spent a year with an ankle bracelet in his house, maybe a little bit more than that. But I want to say Mike's son's out. The hell was his name? Fuck, it's been so many years now. It's just weird how the years just fly by. Hell, I don't think it'll be that much longer before Chris gets out. Of course, Mike's still got a little bit to go, but, what the fuck was Mike's son's name? It doesn't fucking matter. Dirtbag. A convict. Convict, that's his name, convict, forever. He's a convicted felon. From now on, can't own a gun, I don't even think they can vote. Young guy, just completely, fucked in the head. The judge gave him a break, though. I think the speculation was that the judge believed, this is one of these, by the way, not to make this a political video, but this was one of these conservative judges, federal judges, Judge Hood was his name, that was appointed by the first George Bush, who, the Bushes, when they would appoint these conservative judges, they weren't doing that. That was bullshit on the left side. They literally got some wishy-washy down the middle of bleeding heart types. Because the whole thing was the judge felt that Mike's son was led down the garden path by his father and his uncle, and he was too young to know better. He was in college. He could read. You know what? I'm just gonna let that go. He did his 3 years, and he's out now. I hope he's walking the straight and narrow. I have a feeling he's probably knee deep in the oil and gas game. I mean, I wouldn't be. If anybody knows, let me know. Let me know. I'd love to know if he's operating he may be operating Target Oil and Gas, because here's the other thing. I had a lease with Target Oil and Gas, and to be honest with you, I thought, rightfully I think, once they were convicted of fraud and went to prison, that my lease would no longer be valid. I actually had to go to court to break the lease. How insane is that? I got a lease with a bunch of criminals. The president and the vice president is in prison, and I have to go to court to get that lease nullified. And it cost me several $1,000s to do that, There you go. There you go. I've missed you guys. I will come back to the preacher bench. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Yeah, I'll do some more Kentucky stuff. Like I said, I'm going to be going down there next week. I might take some footage there. I might take some shooting gun footage there. I haven't been to the Holler in a long time. A year, actually, I think. It's been probably a year. Maybe not a year, but it's been a long time. Blah, blah, blah. But anyway, everybody take care. See ya!